What's going on, y'all? Today I'm reacting to Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, chapter 33. I'm always late with these, but I'm actually right on time. So let's get right into the chapter, right? Okay. Got a nice little cover page with um Sarada with a nice blue and pink theme. That's pretty cool. Let's get into the chapter though. So we cut back to the chapter, and Sarada actually fell out recently. I forgot. She fell out, and there's a bunch of Mamushis around them. Things are looking dire. Boruto, uh, Konohamaru, and the gang. So let's see what they end up coming up with to get out of this, right? All right, we got Kawaki, and Himawari saying big bro to him, running over. Relax, I simply ran out of gas. Save all your worry for Sarada instead. And Himawari just kind of like realizes, looks over. Boruto, what is Sarada's condition? Okay. And then Boruto's looking down at her, ... She's breathing. I don't think she's in serious danger. But I'm worried about the Mangekyo's damage to her vision. Yeah, which is crazy, because she hasn't really, well, we don't really know how much she was using it during the time skip, but I would just like assume maybe she has been using it, because she's probably been trying to train with it. But as far as on screen, us seeing her use it, she hasn't even really used it that often. But everybody seemed to go blind pretty quickly in OG Naruto as well. So Himawari says, let me see. And she puts up the QB power, starts putting her hands on her like she Jesus. I peeled the damage to the blood vessels and stopped the bleeding, but I don't know if that'll help at all with her vision. And Sarada's literally knocked out right now. Oh, Sarada, Ada says. And Mamushi's like, yeah, y'all forgot about me. Well, the one that they're showing is literally drooling. So it's clear that their mind state is not at max capacity right now. And so Daemon says, such an irritating noise, you damn bugs. Just come at me all at once, will you? Let's get this over with. And they start yelling, roar, coming at him. And Inojin's like, it's no use. At this rate, we'll be wiped out. Hey, how much more do you know? What happens next? He says to Kashin Koji. 4 days ago. Here comes this cryptic motherfucker. 4 days ago. That's the last time presidents showed me any possible futures. Pre-science? Is it pre-science? But anyway, Inojin looks over at him. He's like, oh, really? And it was based on that intel that I imparted mind transmission information to you. I haven't had any updates since then. So just so you know, I can't just whip up the future like that, is what he's saying. Updates, pre-sciences, precognition precognitions, excuse me, comes to me at random times. Sadly, I can't peek at the future whenever I want. That's just how it works. He's basically like Raven from That's So Raven. And what's been happening since I told you about your new jutsu is different from every scenario I had seen up until that point. Yo, AKA once he interacts with what's going on, the future just gonna change anyway. So that's crazy. And Elgin's sweating. He's like, "What do I do?" That's how he's kind of looking. I like the way this panel looks, where it's just literally showing this part of his eye. And yeah, but anyway, for some unknown reason, Mamushi attacked days earlier than expected. The greatest misfortune being that it then ended up coinciding with Kobu's visit. And freaking Amato is just listening in. And ... pre-science, precognition, such a thing is possible, he thinks to himself as he's listening to this. And Inojin goes, we're grasping in the dark. I totally thought that you knew way more about what was going to be happening. I believe I told you that to know the future leads to the act of destroying it. AKA, that's why I'm not saying nothing. Because it's already kind of doing that, and he's barely really said much at the end of the day. And then Daemon is just having all these Mamushis go flying. Don't touch my sister, as he should. And Ada's just kind of like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Because Her powers ain't gonna do too much for her in this scenario. And it's really being shown right now that Ada is literally not a piece of a combatant. Like she's really not a combatant at all. She just has powers, you know? She's like gross. It's a literal mountain of corpses. Crazy. But the Mamushi are still multiplying faster. Daemon's stamina can't be infinite. He's gonna go down eventually, Shikadai says. Guard, but they're still coming at him. He's popping their heads like he's freaking Victoria Newman from The Boys. Pop, 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 pop. Or that one scene in freaking I don't remember which one. I think it's JJK where Gojo just starts going through all the people. But anyway, we cut to the next page, and the Mamushis are still looking like kind of stupid and growling. And Daemon is looking on. It looks like he's starting to get a little bit tired. This is bad. I'm starting to get short of breath. Which, yeah. We got my man using the snakes now. I don't know how long his sage mode's gonna last. Oh man, and he's snatching up the Mamushis with them, but there's so many of them that it's like overwhelming them. There's no end to them, he says. Damn it. And so we got a shot of him, Boruto, and Delta. And Boruto's like, Lord Eighth, I'd like your honest assessment. What do we do? And Kawaki's looking, Konohamaru and Himawari are looking, and it's just a close-up of Sarada, and he says, originally, oh no, this is Kashin Koji talking. Originally, you would have come up with mind transmission formation after Konoha had suffered massive casualties at Mamushi's hands. That's crazy. Since we are battling Mamushi with you having already mastered the jutsu, it is no surprise that subsequent events are different from any scenario I had previously seen. And Inojin's losing his shit right now. Doesn't Mamushi feel weak to you? And Ada and Himawari are still alive. All in all, I interpret such to be entirely thanks to you having your new jutsu. Even so, what about here on out? Things look bad from every angle. I see no chance of us winning. New jutsu, big whooping deal. We'll use his mind transmission formation under these. And he stops and he thinks to himself. And Kashin Koji's just looking. And he's like, new jutsu. There are several possible explanations. It may be that they can share visual or auditory information with each other. While each Mamushi can think independently, there might exist a single collective consciousness governing the entire swarm. Which, there's a very interesting documentary about swarms in nature. And it talks about, animals that are in herds, and then also talks about bees and stuff. I want to say it's on Disney Plus. I think it's National Geographic. But if you find that, it's a really good little docuseries. It's interesting how these hive mind things kind of work. Also, birds. If you ever seen birds fly in a like pattern together, all of those are actually the kind of the same thing in nature, which is very interesting. But anyway, the future has changed drastically for sure. But pre-science's biggest forte is intel. Though the path we took here differed, I have viewed a future whose details share similarities with our current situation, and precisely because Mamushi's intellect has plummeted to rock bottom, there are measures we can take. Measures that, it appears now, I have no need to relay to you based on your expression. Oh, okay. So I'm wondering why they show in the back of Inojin's head, and it's because he's giving him the freaking evil eye right now. He's looking like he's about to do something crazy. I have no need to relay that to you based on your expression, Kashin Koji says to him. And Inojin says, I have to do it. I just steeled myself to do what's needed. There are quite a few futures where you reach the same conclusion, so use it to shatter those damn futures. All right, this guy. When I said that this man was about to talk cryptic, I was freaking underestimating. Like, for real. Anyway, all the Mamushis, boom, they go flying. Damon flies out of the group, holding Ada. That was way too many corpses. We were almost crushed under them. Let's put some distance between us. And they start coming after him. It's no use. They're faster than me. I'll strike them down. So keep flying. So he's about to throw her ahead, I think, and then start, being a distraction. But Boruto comes in and he chops two of them in half. It's a little ridiculous that everybody can just kill these things with like a hot knife through butter when they're supposed. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to keep near the same power level that he had when he was whole, but it's just like their intelligence gets worse. I believe that's how it was explained at first, but to me, it seems like they not really like that for real. Where I feel like the real Momushi, the original one, kind of had some decent power to him. But anyway, let's keep going. We go to the next page, and I got your backs. Just keep moving, Boruto says. Boruto, thanks. Think, damn it, think. Shikamaru says to himself. There's got to be something. And we see a foot, and it's a the toad is transmitting something onto the chalkboard or whatever that is, the monitor. The mind transmission formation. Hey, Inojin, the transmission cut out. What? What is it? Okay, what's Inojin about to do? He about to get reverse summoned over there, and do what exactly? And so we cut to Inojin and Kash and Koji. And there's a summoning on the ground, and Kash and Koji says, "I wish you luck," and he says, "Thanks." I don't know what he's about to do. What is he about to do? Reverse summoned, and he ends up on the battlefield. Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I thought was about to happen. Himawari, Inojin, sorry in advance. Take care of me after, huh? So okay, so he's about to use the mind transfer and jump into who though? Shikadai, capture Mamushi for me. Just one is enough. Oh, I'm so dumb. Obviously, he's about to use the mind transfer to freaking figure out where the core of the hive mind is, the swarm. Shadow paralysis jutsu, and he uses that to hold one of the Mamushis in place. And Inojin lines up the mind transfer. I kind of like this kind of like vertical shot that they got going here. And he lines up the shot, puts it, shoots it himself, I guess, at Mamushi, and it seems like he's inside of him. He falls out, obviously, his original body. And all the Mamushi stopped. Is that what's going on? Is he seeing what all they're seeing at the same time right now? They all stopped. Damon's like, "What the?" And Borge is like, "That." He's like, "What?" Basically. And huh? What's up with them? Yeah, they all stopped. It's Inojin's mind transfer jutsu, except he only possessed one of them, and yet they all suddenly stopped moving. The heck's going on? Kawaki says. Just as I thought, Amado says. I suspect what Inojin has taken over isn't a single unit. And he looks over at the vice president, whatever her name is. I can't remember her name right now. Sumire, I think. The collective consciousness governing the entire swarm. So it does exist. This single unifying hive mind that directs all the Momushi. And that is what Inojin possessed. In short, right now, every Mamushi is under Inojin's control. And Himawari looks up, and then we get a little panel that shows clearly Inojin's mind inside Mamushi. And they're going, Gaga, Gaga. You must destroy both eyes. The ones who've lost their eyes won't be able to divide further. Interesting. Okay. So you figured out their weakness, and you got to destroy their eyes. Now, I'm curious if that's just a Mamushi specific weakness right there, or is that going to be a weakness for all of these divine trees? I guess we'll find out. I mean, while you're in there, Jen, you might as well see if you can find out some more weaknesses to this group. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we cut to him yelling, Damon, and he says, "I'm gonna destroy your eyes." Oh, ouch! That looks like it hurts. And so he makes it look like he's about to destroy his eyes. He reflects it, and it destroys his eyes instead. Oh, but it hurt his real body too. I forgot that happens if that's the case. Jeez, that's tough. That's a tough sacrifice for sure. Man, is he gonna be blind for the rest of the manga? But anyway, he's gonna be having to use his mind's eye for the rest. But anyway, So all of their eyes get hurt at the same time, which is crazy. But I kind of feel like if this was the case, maybe Inogen was in the one that was the center of the hive mind. Like, I'm not sure exactly how he figured that out right away. But if it was that they were all linked like this the entire time, I'm a little surprised that just messing up a different one didn't just mess them all up. You know what I'm saying? But again, it kind of seems like this specific one that he went into is the one that would make that happen. So they all their eyes explode. They all start falling out. Seriously? What the heck's happening? This is kind of a very quick, abrupt ending to this, no? But anyway, Kawaki's looking, Himawari goes to heal Inogen immediately, which this is what he was referring to clearly when he got there. And they start like crumbling and fading away, looking like when it's a snow flurry. And we're looking around. Everybody's looking around. We got them all. We got them, all of them. We actually did it, Delta says. And Boruto's looking, and he's aura farming, putting his sword away, looking like Zoro. Or he's getting his sword out, actually. Excuse me. And it makes a sound as he's ready to slash that thorn bulb or whatever it's called. That's a thorn bulb. And he grabs it. And hey, Boruto, Kawaki says, what do you plan to do with that thing? And Boruto just looks at him. It'd be a shame to let it rot away, wouldn't it? Rot, he says. And so, okay, what's about to happen now? And so we see Bug in the tree, and then we see one of the belts, which is what I like to call them because that's what it freaking looks like. One of the belts that freaking Code be using, and his eye pops out of it, and is like slinking up the freaking tree like a snake. This is an interesting chapter. Very abrupt ending to the Mamushi storyline. I have kind of like mixed feelings on it overall, but I'm excited to see what they're gonna do next. I honestly feel like the last arc was better for sure, but I'm excited to see what they're gonna do next because I'm pretty sure that means that the next person of the main group that they're gonna have to deal with is probably gonna be Hidari, I think his name was, the Sasuke one. And that should be pretty cool. That should be pretty cool. But yeah, the gang did it. We'll see what the aftermath is, what ends up happening with Kobu as well. Let me know your thoughts and like, subscribe, etc. Goodbye.